Can anyone answer me?
Pardon, ma'am?
What is research? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Research can be, suppose if I take a topic on mergers and acquisitions. So if I have a topic based on it, then any content which is available online, which can be utilized educationally to write my thesis or my research paper or something relevant to it, can be termed as a research.
Okay.
Or even if I'm planning to prepare a Google form and get a questionnaire which is filled by a lot of candidates, that is utilized for my own research paper, that can also be termed as a research.
Okay, very well. It was a very good answer. So I would just like to add on with this. The first, the word research, etymologically, if we like to answer this question, it is made up of two words, re and search. When we talk about re means a repetition of something, or it is an iterative process. And when we talk about search denotes making a thorough examination or looking over carefully in order to find something. So when we talk about doing research, we don't need to invent anything. There is a lot of material available, and we just need to find out that material. We just need to incorporate that material in our research, in our in fixing our research problem. And by fixing our research problem with the already available resources, we tend to add something to the available literature. And this is the main goal of literature. This is the main goal of research, and this is how we research about anything. So the first thing that we need to understand when we talk about research is that into research we don't need to invent anything. Everything is present over here. Everything is present in the universe. We just need to find the right thing and incorporate it into our research. And by incorporating those variables into our research, we need to enhance the existing knowledge on that matter. So this is research. Now, let us understand the aim of research. By understanding the aim of research, we'll be able to understand that due to different purposes of research, the research can be bifurcated or trifurcated or differentiated into a lot of different branches of research. Yes? Okay. So, firstly, please answer what is the aim of research according to you? Without referring to the slide, just think and answer what is the aim of research?
Ma'am, the aim of the research,
yes?
according to me, is to prove an hypothesis.
Is to prove an hypothesis. Okay, this can be one purpose of research. Again, next. Anyone else?
To understand a subject matter in a more brief manner, to understand every single aspect about a subject matter.
Okay, for a comprehensive and understanding about the subject. Okay, very well. Yes. Next. Yes.
Also anyone to put else? Your own understanding. That's more important.
Also to put our own understanding. Yes, that is more important. Anyone else?
Research means searching about any particular topic and finding loopholes in that and try to rectify those things.
Yes, research means that. What is the purpose of researching? What is the aim of researching?
Ma'am, aim of research is to try to rectify those loopholes.
Very good. Yes. Okay. So if you listen to all your answers, you would have found that everybody's answer was different. Someone said that there are certain loopholes, we need to mend those loopholes, and for that we do research. Someone said that to enhance our understanding, we need to do research. Somebody said that because to understand the problem in a better manner and to address it, and by addressing it, it is important that we add up to that problem, to add up to the solution. So this is research. So if we talk about these purposes, we will come to know that there are uh, various kinds of research that needs to be employed here when we talk about the various aims and purposes that was told by you. So herein we will understand, I have listed a few purposes. This is not an exhaustive list. This is an inclusive list, and there can be other purposes of research also. And you should always be clear that the aim of research is very important in order to employ a research methodology. So which type of research will be done? It depends and totally depends upon the aim of the research. Okay, so I've identified a few aims. The first one is to identify potential and new issues and challenges. Okay, so for example, in this era, we don't have a self-driven vehicle mechanism, the legal mechanism for the self-driven vehicles. So this is a problem because Tesla has already come up with the self-driven vehicle. Now we don't have a proper legal mechanism for that, for this issue. So this is a potential and new issue and challenge. Okay. Now, for example, there is a saying that we'll be using hydrogen as a fuel. So what will be the implication of that usage? So this is a potential area wherein we can research. So herein, the aim of the research is to know about that topic. So for this, we'll be doing exploratory research. Okay. Now, if we talk about the second purpose is to understand existing frameworks surrounding the problems. Now, there is a certain problem existing in herein, and we need to understand the existing framework. Existing framework might be social, economic, might be legal, might be technical. So, what are the frameworks surrounding the problem? So what kind of research will be this research? This will be an explanatory research or a research which is descriptive in nature. We are just analyzing. We are not even analyzing. We are just seeing what are the possible existing framework is there with regard to our research problem. Now, when we talk about the third research purpose is to set pragmatic goals. The pragmatic word incorporates substantive as well as practical solutions. So the theoretical solutions as well as the practical solutions are included there when we talk about the pragmatic goals. Now, the next aim is to develop a protective research strategy. For example, we have got a practical problem, and that problem needs redressal. For that redressal, we need to make up our strategy. We need to apply our research, apply our descriptive research to a research method wherein we'll be employing our research solution as a practical means so that research problem will be solved. Okay, so to solve a research problem, when we develop a research strategy and when we apply that research strategy to that problem to cure that problem, then we do applied research or applied legal. If that research is there in law, then it is applied legal research. If we talk about the next purpose, that is to address the identified issues and challenges. So there are certain issues, there are certain challenges which are there in the society, but that have not been underlined, that has not been identified. So it needs to be identified. So for that, what we need to do, we need to explore the area. We need to find out as to what is the research problem underlying this society. So the next research aim or the research purpose is to put together a roadmap for the solution. What is this? This is suggesting a practical solution to the research problem. When we talk about suggesting a practical solution to the research problem, it is more of an applied research or an action-based research. And the last one is to suggesting measures to solve the identified research problem. Now, when we talk about a descriptive research, therein we only tell that this is the problem. When we talk about a basic research, therein we only theorize as to what are the theories which are available that can be applied to this research problem. But when we talk about suggesting measures to solve the identified research problem, herein we need some action-based plan. Herein we need some applied research. Okay, so there are various kinds of research which can be done by understanding the aims and purposes of the research. If my aim is just to know about a theory, I will do a basic research or a fundamental research. If my aim is to cure a particular problem by suggesting practical measures, it will be an action-based research. Okay. So this is the importance of aim when we talk with regard to suggesting the type of research that we'll be indulging in. Now, when we talk about the classification of the types of research, this is also again not an exhaustive list. Due to paucity of time, I have incorporated only the most important researches. And herein we'll talk about the classification of the types of research on the basis of nature of research, on the basis of goals of research, on the basis of approach of research. So on the basis of nature of research, the research is divided into two parts. The first one is the basic research, and the second one is the applied research. The basic research is called as the fundamental or pure research. It is just to expand the researcher's knowledge. This type of research is done not to create or invent anything new, but to understand what is the current theory with regard to that particular research problem in the society. Now, can any one of you tell me an example of a basic research? A basic fundamental research?
It
Can
can
any?
be,
Yes.
we are taking a reference from a paper which is written by some professor or some student, and we are trying to make a project work based on that research paper or the same.
Very good, very good, very good. So the projects, the research projects or the assignments that we do during our graduation, that is basically nothing but a basic research, a fundamental research. We are just saying, we are just telling that this was the problem and this was the solution that is available in the social arena. Okay. Can anyone tell me another example of a basic research? Any other example? Okay, so I'll tell you. So there is a census data, census 2011 data that is available in the social realm. I just look at that data and I just write that this was the literacy rate, this was the literacy rate for women, this was the literacy rate for men. So when I'm simply writing about what is there, then without questioning why is it there, without questioning the cause and effect of that particular thing, then it is known as the basic research. It is done at the nascent stage of a researcher. When a researcher is at his nascent stage of research, then this kind of research is usually done. As somebody already very aptly said, that in the research projects that are given by the teachers during their semesters or during their subject teaching. Okay, so the next is applied research. So the applied research draws on a theory to generate practical and scientific knowledge. Okay, now what will be there? There will be a particular research problem. There will be a particular research solution, and that solution will be applied upon the that solution, or that theory will be applied upon the research problem in order to solve that research problem, or in order to understand that research problem in a better manner. So a very important example, or a very easy example of applied research, is market research. So whenever a product is launched in the market is studied. For example, if we talk about a rural area, and I am planning to set up a coaching class there. So if I'm planning to set up a coaching class there, what will I do? I'll first study the market as to how much fees I can get, as to whether I can get a better academic team or not. What will be with regard to the administrative team, whether I can get a better team or not. So all these things will be researched before I will employ a coaching center there. Okay. Now, the second example is the research on consumption patterns. For example, India is a society. India is a society wherein milk is used in a very good quantity. In every household, milk is utilized. So, for example, a foreign company is coming here to set up a milk factory. So it will firstly understand that what is the requirement of milk in India, and whether the Indian society is consuming packet-based milk products, or it is consuming directly from the farms. So all these things will be studied before applying the solution to the research problem before actually incorporating that into the society. So this is the applied research. Now, please tell me any one example of applied research. Anyone?
Now, applied research can be, suppose if I want to launch a new product of Adidas shoes or Nike for that matter, if I want to launch in a market, I have to make
Yes.
sure that there are suitable buyers in the market and there is a demand in the market. For that, I'll prepare a form. I'll ask the questions in a electronic format. Whenever someone opens the website or YouTube, the question will blink and which will give me a survey of how much likeness of the product is there in the market, and then I launch the product.
Okay, very good, very nice. So when we talk about the nature of types of research, there are two types of research. First is basic and the second one is applied. In basic, we are just studying the theory. In applied, we are applying that theory, we are applying that solution to the problem. So when we talk about classification on the basis of goals, it can be divided into 4 parts. The first one is exploratory, second is descriptive, third is explanatory, and fourth is normative. So we'll be understanding all of these one by one. What is exploratory research? When we talk about exploratory research, we must know that exploratory research is only done in those areas wherein the research has not been done at an extensive phase. So in explanatory research, this type of research is used for preliminary investigation of a subject that is not well understood or sufficiently researched. It serves to establish a frame of reference and a hypothesis from which an in-depth study can be developed, and that will enable conclusive research to be generated. Now, because an exploratory research is done on a very little researched phenomena, we do not depend upon the secondary sources that is already available, because as we know that it is done only on those topics which are not researched extensively. So there will not be any much data available. So we will not be depending upon the secondary sources. However, we will be depending upon the primary source data ourselves when it is about exploratory research. So, for example, an example of exploratory research is an investigation of the role of social media in the perception of voting. For example, a certain, let's say, party A is in power in state B. Now, under this rule, what is happening? More scams are happening, more diseases are happening, more social natural calamities are happening, and because due to these calamities, the government is not able to function well. Now, if we talk about a social media page which is incorporating with certain news or certain write-ups wherein it is continuously criticizing the government, and that particular news or that particular write-up or that particular research piece is circulated in the social media. Now, if we want to know about the effect of this, the effect of these kind of material on social media, we need to investigate, because there is not much material already available. So this, when we talk about a phenomena which is less researched, when we talk about a preliminary investigation of a subject that is not well understood, then that is done in exploratory research. Now, I would like to have any one example of exploratory research here. What is exploratory research? One example.
Well, a research
Yes.
on AI in legal studies can be an exploratory
Very
research.
good, very well. Mhm. For that matter, the study of AI in any field, in medical field, or in the field of law, or in the field of let's say
Copyright,
technology, yes, IPR, all these things will be exploratory research, because there have not been any kind of research. For example, if we talk about the use of AI in education, so there are a lot of chatbots, there are a lot of Google extensions wherein we can do our we can get our academic answers from there. So what is the veracity of these kind of chatbots? What will be the implication of these kind of AI-driven tools to the academic learning or teaching or research? This, if we need to know this, we will need to have to do an exploratory research, because such kind of research has not been done in the past. Next is descriptive research. Now, when we talk about exploratory research, the data is not available. Secondary data is not available because the topic is under researched. When we talk about descriptive research, there is ample amount of data. The topic is very well researched by the previous researchers. So when we talk about the descriptive research, the primary objective is to define the characteristic of a particular phenomena without necessarily investigating the cause to produce it. In this type of research, the researcher must take a particular care that he should not intervene in the observed object as to what is the cause of that object, or what is the effect of that object, or why is this behavior available. So because in a descriptive research, it is theoretical in nature, so that response might vary in different circumstances, might vary with different variables. Therefore, the researcher must produce what he has seen or what he has read, and he must produce it in that manner only. For example, when we talk about investigating how the literacy rate of men and women differs between urban and non-urban areas. So what we'll do, we'll see the census of 2011 and the previous censuses, and we'll get to find out a pattern as to what is the literacy rate of men and what is the literacy rate of women first. These are two variables. Then the third variable will be what is the literacy rate of men in urban area, what is the literacy rate of women in urban area, and same for the rural area. So what in a descriptive research, what we'll be doing, we'll just tell that this is the trend that we are seeing. We do not need to delve into the causes or the effects of that particular phenomena. For example, the literacy rate of women is low in rural areas as compared to the literacy rate of women in urban areas. So when we say that I will be analyzing this thing, so it will come under analytical research. When I'm saying that I will be telling the problems associated with the literacy, why the women are less literate as compared to men, or why women are less literate in the rural area as compared to women. So I'll be telling the positives and the negative impact, or positive or the negative factors governing the literacy rate. So when I'll be doing this is a critical research. So in a descriptive research, we only describe as to what has happened. We will tell the trend. In an analytical research, we will analyze the situation and we will try to provide our solutions. In a critical research, we will try to find out the positive as well as the negative factors, and then we will try to establish as to why women in rural area are less educated, less literate than women in urban area. Now, any one of you, please tell me an example of descriptive research. A different example of descriptive research.
It can be a research work based on students choosing different stream for their career choices, which is already available online. In case, how many students are choosing law, how many are choosing medical or commerce for that matter.
Okay, great. We will just be stating the facts that how many students are choosing math, science, or commerce.
Yes.
Abhi, इसी को when we are trying to do an analytical research, what will we do with these variables only? What will we do for our research to become an analytical research?
We'll try to relate
the factors. We'll analyze the factors as to what factors are responsible for people or the students choosing different streams.
Very good, very nice. And I want to make my research into a critical research. What will be the example? How will I change by using these
what would be the implications only? What would be the implications of on the students after they choose the respective streams differently? So the implications would be covered under the analytical part.
Very good, very nice. So the next is explanatory research. Explanatory research is the most common type of research method and is responsible for establishing cause and effect relationships that allow generalizations to be extended to similar realities. It is closely related to descriptive research, although it provides additional information about the observed object and its interaction with the environment. So, explanatory research, what does it do? It explains. But what does descriptive research do? And how is descriptive research different from explanatory research? In the descriptive research, we just state the facts. In the explanatory research, we explain those, we first state those facts and we then explain those facts as to why those facts are there in the first place. So, for example, if we take the example of how many students are taking which stream. So, if I have a data set of 100 people, and under that data set, there are three variables that people are choosing. People are choosing science, people are choosing commerce and bio. So the math stream, people, there are 20 students who have chosen math stream. There are the 50 students have chosen bio and 30 students have chosen commerce. So when we talk about a descriptive research, we'll just state that these many students have chosen these streams. But when we talk about explanatory research, we'll try to find out the causes of why these students are choosing such and such streams. So when we talk about let's say bio, so like 50% of the people, they have chosen biology as a stream. So what is the reason? What is the cause? What will be the effect? So we can find out that by becoming doctors, a person can earn more than becoming a, let's say, lawyer. That is why people are choosing biology over commerce. Or if a person becomes a CA, he will earn more than a person who will become an engineer. So that is why people are choosing more to be a commerce student than to be a math student. So understanding these cobwebs of the cause and its effect, all these relationships, when we study and when we incorporate it into our research, then that descriptive research becomes explanatory in nature. So an exploratory research is nothing but an extension of descriptive research, wherein we incorporate variables such as cause and effect or implications, or its what will be the result of doing all these things. Okay. So, for example, an explanatory study of college students' addiction to their electronic gadgets. Now, when we talk about, let's say I have 100 college students and I have divided them into genders, and I have given them so and so certain gadgets. And then for a period of 1 month, I'll be analyzing as to which population uses these gadgets more for the more time, and which population uses for less time. So while using this, I found out that men or male students, they are using the gadgets for more time. Now, when we talk about descriptive research, I will simply write down. But when it comes to an explanatory research, I will explain the causes why male students use this gadget for more time. I will explain that what will be the effects of using that gadget for more time. So all these things, when I'll be describing along with stating the data, then it will become an explanatory research. So can I get one example of explanatory research?
So, ma'am, basically,
Yes.
explanatory research
Yes.
is based on the observations of a study. As in,
Yes.
as you just mentioned that, for example, when you study the behavior of the students in regard to using gadgets, so in explanatory research, you'll jot down the points or your observations regarding as to what their behavior was in this particular aspect of using electronic gadgets. So this comes under explanatory research.
Okay, very good. So the next one is normative research. A normative research is about measuring, assessing, and comparing goodness, value, practicality, and functionality of a particular research object. As normative proposes, it is about setting standards for the behavior by setting norm, by explicitly defining possible, desired, or feasible way to act. So let's say we are in 1950s and there is a norm that women should only wear sari, and that norm has been set up by some research that sari is a very feasible cloth to wear, or under Indian conditions wherein we get very extreme weather, sari will protect us. So all these things, when we research about a research problem in such a manner to set certain standards for the society as to what kind of clothes people should wear, as to whether female students should go to the school or not, whether female students should become doctors, engineers or not, or they should become only teachers, whether a particular, let's say, whether liquor should be provided in the market or not, it should be sold in the market or not. When we talk about when we take a research problem and research it in such a manner, so as to provide a standard for that, to provide a norm for that research problem in the society, then such research is known as normative research. For example, when we talk about the role of people's preference in determining whether incidental findings should be offered to participants in genomic research or not. So when we talk about what kind of, what should be the marriageable age of women, so there was a debate that that the age of marriage for males should be equal to the age of marriage to female. So whether this should be actually equal or not, what kind of norms were employed, whether it was scientific in nature, social in nature, what kind of norms, what kind of research methods were employed, that plays a very important role. And by employing those research techniques, what are the outcome? We find out a standard. And now the standard is that the marriageable age for male and female in India is 21 years. Okay, so wherever we try to set some standards, then it is known as normative research. Now, can anyone tell me one example of normative research?
Whether caste system should prevail.
Okay, very nice. Anyone else?
Ma'am, I would like to add. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Aninda Das. I would like to add the previous answer, as she well said that whether caste system prevail or not. I would like to just add whether reservation prevail in the society or not.
Yes, this is a more apt answer. This is a more precise answer. Very good. Anyone else?
Ma'am, POXO Act can be an example of this.
How?
Ma'am, it was actually established for protection of females in the year 2012. It was because of the increasing amount of crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, to set a standard in the society, this act was introduced. So maybe laws are also amended and framed in such a manner that to basically, yes, ma'am. So that's how even laws are amended, to set a standard for this.
Very well. All the legal research wherein we end up using increasing some provisions in a statute, or incorporating a new statute, or amending a statute and establishing a new rule. All these research will come under normative research. Very good, very nice. Now, when we talk about the approach of research, if we classify research on the basis of approach, there are two kinds of research: qualitative research and quantitative research. So a student of research, whenever he listens to research, at the very nascent stage, he is told what is a qualitative research and what is a quantitative research, because these are research approaches. Now, can anyone tell me what is a qualitative research? With one example.
Hello, madam. Am I audible
Yes.
again?
Yes, audible.
Madam, qualitative research to me is the kind of research in which we are establishing a particular methodology and a particular reasoning for that research, for that question in research. As when we critically analyze, we just critically analyze the cause and effect relationship behind that subject. So it does include a bit quality rather than playing with numbers.
Very good, very well. Okay, so when we talk about qualitative approach of research in social sciences is used to collect, compare, and interpret information with linguistic semiotic basis, and it is used in techniques such as discourse analysis, interviews, non-structured surveys, records, and participant observations, which is also known as ethnography. In order to use statistical methods to validate their research, the observations which are collected must be evaluated numerically. Qualitative research, however, tends to be subjective, since not all the data can be fully controlled. For example, when we talk about interviews are not a fully structured mechanism of, or we can say interviews are not a fully structured research tools wherein you will not get an answer in yes or no. You can also get an answer in yes, but this reason, in no, but this reason, or don't know. So there can be various types of answers. So similarly, when we talk about non-structured surveys, wherein you need to write your opinion about a particular thing, then also that particular research survey becomes subjective in nature. So when we talk about qualitative research, it is more subjective in nature, it is more in-depth in nature, it is more comprehensive in nature, and due to that there is variety in that type of research. Therefore, this type of research design is better suited to extracting meaning from an event or phenomena, the why of that phenomena, then its cause as to how. So when we talk about as compared to the quantitative research, qualitative research tends to find out the why, the answer, that why this particular phenomena is happening. For example, what is the effect of sleep deprivation on mood? So if we talk about this example only, if we will try to find out that whether the sleep deprivation affects the mood, yes or no, this will be a quantitative research. But when we talk about effects of sleep deprivation on mood, it is more subjective in nature. It is more comprehensive in nature, and there can be various different types of effects of sleep deprivation in different kinds of people. For some people, a 4-hour sleep is enough. For some people, an 8-hour sleep is enough. So a person who needs to sleep for 8 hours, if he sleeps for 4 hours, what will be the effect of that sleep deprivation on that person? Again, when we talk about 20 different people or 100 different people, the effect of sleep deprivation on their mood will be different in nature. So a qualitative research will find out what will be the effect on their moods. Wherein if we talk about a quantitative research, it will just find out whether sleep deprivation affects mood or not, yes or no. So the next one is quantitative research. Quantitative research, as the name suggests, it is based on measurement. It is based on quantifiability of the data. It is based on amount of the data. When we talk about a particular research problem, we just try to find out the number of variables that is in favor and the number of variables that is in against. So under the quantitative research, the focus is on gathering and interpreting the numerical data, and it can also be adopted for discovering any averages, any kind of patterns, or making predictions. For example, let's say there is an election in the month of February. There is an election in the month of March. There is an election every month. Now we need to find out that which party gets more votes. So only if the quantitative research will tell us that so and so party A is getting this much amount of vote, party B is getting this amount of vote, C is getting this amount of vote. But when we talk about a qualitative research, what will qualitative research do? Qualitative research will tell us as to why party A is getting less votes than party B, why party C is getting more number of votes than party A. So this is the difference between a qualitative research and a quantitative research. Now, please tell me that what is the, did you understand the meaning? And if you have understood the meaning, then give me one example and incorporate qualitative method or qualitative approach and the quantitative approach in the same example. Anyone?
Ma'am, for example, a new product launched in the market.
Yes.
So according to the quantitative research, we can ask the audience to rate the features of the product. Suppose it's a smartphone, so we can ask the audience to rate the features. And as of qualitative research, it will tell why the audience like this particular feature so much, or that particular feature was less likable.
Very nice. Very good. Anyone else?
One more example can be if females are entering into this IPR stream, then we can subjectually write about how females are developing the niche in this field and exploring this avenues and becoming partners. This and how much number of females can be quantitative based on number, based on the types of IPR, copyright, patent, where females are entering more, which stream they're entering, and how they are developing themselves can be a subjectual aspect of it, whereas how many are coming can be a quantitative aspect of it.
Very good. How many women are entering the IP field is a quantitative aspect. Whether men are more or women are more, this is a quantitative aspect. We are just counting the heads, the favorable numbers or the non-favorable numbers. We'll get to know that so and so number of females are there in the IP field and so number of males are there in the IP field. But when we tend to find out as to why this is the number of women in IP field and what these women are doing in the IP field as compared to the men who are in the IP field, who is more profitable, who is more well versed with the IP laws. So all these things, when we try to find out, this is a very subjective kind of research, and when we do subjective kind of research, it is a qualitative research. So the next category is according to the sources of information. When the research is done by collecting the data themselves or by first-hand information, then that particular kind of research is known as primary research. Whereas a desk-based research, a research which is from books, journals, research papers, or already published data, then we talk about, then this kind of research is secondary research. The primary research is mainly done in case of quantitative research or in the case of exploratory research, while the secondary research is can be done in the case of qualitative research or in the case of let's say applied research or analytical research. So these were the broad headings. There are many more kinds of researches. There are many more types of researches wherein different kinds of techniques are employed. But you need to know that today the list that we discussed was not exhaustive in nature. It was inclusive. There are many more kinds of research techniques. And the most important thing while choosing a research technique, while choosing a research approach is what is the purpose of that research. Whenever you go for researching for a particular research problem or a particular issue, you need to find out whether what do you want to achieve with that particular research problem. If you will get to know that what kind of outcome do you want, then you will be automatically knowing that what kind of research you will be doing. And this should be the proper channel. You should not firstly decide that I'll do a quantitative research, and then while reading about that research problem, you'll come to know that the purpose that I need to achieve is more comprehensive in nature. It will need a qualitative approach. So firstly, when you decide a research problem, try to study the aim and try to find out the aim and purpose of that research, and then only try to employ the research method. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you so much.